Okay, well, this is Jonathan Dupree, and I want to welcome you to the mastermind today. Put your dream to the test. And I am very excited about today's call. Before we get into the call, I just want to let you know about a couple of things so that you can participate and interact. You'll see there on the screen beneath the PowerPoint slide, the video section, you'll see a question and answer box. Anytime you have a question, I'd love for you to submit your question. I can see those questions as they come in. So I'd love for you to participate. If you have a thought, an idea that you want to share, or a question you want to ask as we go through the mastermind today, I'd love for you to input that information there. Also, in a minute, I'm going to ask for you to share some of your thoughts from last week when we talked about the question about reality. Is there a real pathway for you to accomplish your dream? And so maybe put some thought into those questions. I gave you some homework that if you haven't already downloaded the manual on your screen to the bottom left, there's a link there that you can click and you can download the Put Your Dream to the Test workbook. It's very important for you to have the workbook. You can go back through the archived copy of the previous calls so that you can fill in any of the blanks that you're missing in that workbook. In fact, I'm going to push to the screen right now a link that says click here to access the archived calls. And if you click on that link that I just posted to the screen, you can then go. It'll take you right to where all the archive calls are. And I'll put our future calls there as well. So you can download the workbook by clicking the link on your screen that's on the bottom left-hand side. It says your free gift. And then I just pushed a link to the screen. You should see a big button that says click here to get access to the archived calls. And you click there, it's going to bring you to my website, and you will see the calls that we've already done on the introduction, the clarity question, the reality question. Today we're talking about the passion question. This one will be up there following today's call. And then you can use the workbook and fill in any gaps. If you're just now joining us, if you've missed any of the previous masterminds, that's where you can get access to them. In that Q&A box, before we dive in today, I'd love for you to share some of your thoughts that you've gotten so far from the mastermind. So feel free to just share any ahas, any thoughts that you've got. I'm going to continue to go through the call, so there's no dead time in here. But at the same time, I will share your thoughts and your ahas that you've had since we've begun this mastermind on Put Your Dream to the Test, the 10 questions to help you seize and see it and seize it when it comes to your dream. So today we're going to talk about passion. And the passion question says, does my dream compel me to follow it? Does my dream compel me to follow it? If you're working on something exciting that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. Your vision will pull you towards it. That's why it's really important to have big goals and big dreams. Now, what I just read was a quote by Steve Jobs, the creator of Apple, where he said, if you're working on something exciting and if you really care about it, you don't have to be pushed. The vision is going to pull you right along. That's why it's important to know, am I passionate about what my dream is? If you've ever gone to a boardwalk or a carnival, you've seen one of the machines called the passion meter, and it's supposed to be able to measure how romantic you are. And it usually has this panel of flashing lights and buzzers and a metal handle that you squeeze, and it gives you a mild electrical current that flows through it. And the longer and stronger you can squeeze the handle, the better your score. Now, think about it. Wouldn't it be nice if the passion for our dreams could be as easily measured? Just drop a quarter in the machine, give the handle a squeeze, and it predicts the odds for our success. But real life is not like that. So the passion question says, does my dream compel me to follow it? It can be a little difficult to answer that question. How do you know whether your passion will be enough to carry you through the realization of your dream? So I want you to stop for a minute, and this is the interactive part. I want to ask you to interact a little bit using the Q&A box. Then I want to ask you a couple of questions, and I want you to respond to them. How has your dream driven you recently? So think about you, and you're passionate to move towards a dream. You've got this dream. You've got this worthy goal you're moving towards. How has your dream driven you recently? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I'd also like to know, what adversities have you experienced and overcome up until this point? So you've got this dream. It's driven you. How has it driven you? And what are some of the adversities that you've had to face and overcome up until this point? This is a great question. Love some feedback on this too. What thoughts do you experience when someone doubts your vision? And the reality of this question is, if you have a big enough vision, people are going to doubt it. People are going to tell you it can't be done. People are going to tell you you're crazy for doing that. So what thoughts do you experience when someone doubts your vision? And here's the last question. And again, I'd love for you to share some feedback in the Q&A box through these questions that I'm going to be asking you throughout the call today. But what has, if you were outside of your comfort zone, but inside of your strength zone, in a daily activity that takes you towards your dream, what would you be doing? What would you be doing? So I'm going to ask you that again. If you were outside of your comfort zone and inside of your strength zone, in a daily activity that takes you towards your dream, what would you be doing? And are you currently doing that? What would you be doing, and are you currently doing that? In a daily activity. So take a minute, use the Q&A box, put your thoughts to those questions that I just asked. And we're going to move right into this call today about how passion creates possibility. Passion creates possibility. So we're on session 4. We're talking about passion. And passion is a critical element for anyone who wants to achieve a dream, because it's the starting point of all achievement. I have never seen anyone anywhere at any time achieve anything of any value without the spark of passionate desire. It provides the energy that makes the dream possible. It's what gets you out of the bed in the morning when you don't feel like getting out of the bed. It's what propels you forward when you don't feel like you can go forward anymore. So then you might say, well, why didn't we start off with this subject if it's one of the most critical? Because too many people say that passion's the end-all, be-all of dreams, but that isn't true. See, passion alone will not be enough for you to achieve your dream. The passion question is only one of 10 that we're going to be focused on in this mastermind. And you have to be able to answer affirmatively to succeed. You've got to be able to say, yes, I'm passionate about this, and my dream is big enough to compel me to follow it. The road to any dream or worthy goal is cluttered with detours and problems and disappointments. In fact, I shared on a live stream on my Facebook recently that the goal, we think it takes X to hit the goal, and really it takes Z to hit the goal. The lows will be lower than we thought they would be. The highs will be higher than we anticipated them to be. The obstacles will be greater than we thought they would be. So the road to any dream, you're going to have challenges and obstacles and detours and problems and disappointments. But what happens is many people have so much difficulty on that road that their dreams die there. They don't know how to navigate through the obstacles or around the obstacles or under the obstacles. They don't know how to handle the problems. Someone just shared that their dreams have pushed them to work smarter and not harder. And thank you for sharing that. Hard work alone doesn't do it. Everybody, you have lots of people that work hard, but when you're passionate, it's going to also help you to understand how to include other people, which is one of the questions we'll talk about, is the people question. There's a great quote I read that said, "If I were to wish for anything, I should not wish for wealth and for power, but for the passionate sense of potential, for the eye which sees the potential. Pleasure disappoints, possibility never disappoints." So what is passion? When you think about passion, passion is an enthusiasm, and it not only gives you energy and focus in the present, but it also gives you power to keep moving forward toward the future. It gives you fuel to pursue your dream. It makes it possible to wake up in the morning, whoever you are, wherever you are, however old or however young. It gets you up out of bed and moving in the morning. You believe in it. You believe you're good at it. It's something bigger than you are that you're moving towards, and you can hardly wait to get at it again day in and day out. So I would say passion does 3 things for us that are significant. And the first thing that passion does is it helps us to overcome adversity. It pulls us up. Anytime you try to accomplish something of value, you're going to face adversity. Passion can help you get through it. It will pull you up. You don't need to be pushed when you're passionate about your dream. You don't have to have people pushing you, because that dream is so big it's pulling you. The most inspirational part of a dream is its beginning. We've all experienced the thrill of birthing a dream. And when we see the possibilities, we feel the excitement of what could be. We envision a positive future. We enjoy the affirmation of friends who want us to succeed. And then we begin, and we quickly realize that between the dream's inspiration and its manifestation, that there's going to be a lot of perspiration. We're gonna have to roll up our sleeves, and we're gonna have to work. We discover it's much harder having and raising this dream than making it, than thinking it. You know, I think back and think about launching my company, KDK Realty, and I think about how passionate I am about the company, and it's what keeps me moving forward. And I think of the obstacles and the problems and the challenges and the losses and the discouragements that we've had along the way. And if I weren't extremely passionate about how this company is going to help transform the lives of so many people, it would have been easy to quit multiple times. So passion helps you overcome that adversity. So remember, between the dream's inspiration and its manifestation, there's going to be a lot of perspiration. It's what carries you through the tough times. It's what gives you power to overcome the adversity. It's what will give you the energy to believe, plan, study, decide, prepare, begin, work, save, listen, smile, commend, and persist The answer is passion. You've got to be passionate about your dream. Now, the second thing that passion does is it pushes us out, giving us initiative. So to succeed in life, we must stay within our strength zone, but we have to continually move outside of our comfort zone. That's really important. You've got to work within your strengths, and at the same time, you got to move outside of your comfort zone. Have you ever accomplished anything significant while you were in your comfort zone? I'm going to guess the answer to that question is no. Most of us don't like moving out of our comfort zone. We resist it. We like to feel safe. We like to feel secure. We don't want to look foolish or fall flat on our faces or fail. And as we get older, we tend to naturally become more and more complacent. But the problem is that complacency kills passion. It reduces us to average. It clips our wings and keeps us from soaring. No matter how much we want to, it puts our dreams beyond our reach. It takes initiative to be successful, to achieve a dream. It requires us to take risk. If you remember in our first question, we talked about clarity. And we said, do I see my dream clearly? We also talked about ownership. We said, is this my dream? Am I moving towards this? Now, I take responsibility for where I am now in my pathway to meeting or exceeding that goal, moving towards my dream. Well, you have to have initiative to move forward. You've got to take charge. You've got to say, I'm going to be the one to move towards this, that it's important for me to achieve this. Passion makes us unreasonable. It prompts us to leave our comfort zone and cross that threshold of our doubt. We're our own worst enemies. We're the ones who get in our own way, and initiative helps move us out of our comfort zone so that we get out of our own way. We move past our doubt so that we can begin the journey toward our dreams. And then the third thing that passion does is it increases our odds for success. It positions us well. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you're doing, you're going to be successful. My dad always used to tell me, if you love what you're doing, the money will follow. If you love what you're doing and you look behind, usually a career is following you. When we have passion and we allow ourselves to pursue it, it positions us well in life. It sets us up for success. If we don't follow our passion, we will be in a difficult place, one that won't serve us well. Here's a paragraph from Richard Elder, and he says, safe living genuinely makes for regrets later on. We are all given talents and dreams. Sometimes the two don't match, but more often than not, we compromise both before ever finding out. Later on, as successful as we might be, we find ourselves looking back, trying to find that time when we should have chased our true dreams and our true talents for all they were worth. Don't let yourself be pressured into thinking that your dreams or your talents aren't prudent. They were never meant to be prudent. They were meant to bring joy and fulfillment into your life. Step into your greatness. Really allow your potential, your God-given potential, to be used. You were created for so much more. The majority of the people in our world, they don't follow their passion. And as a result, they're frustrated and they're unhappy. And you can see that in how they live their lives. Malcolm Forbes said, the biggest mistake people make in life is not trying to make a living at what they enjoy. As a result, they simply try to endure their working lives instead of making the most of them. They live for the weekends. They try to hang on until retirement. They don't step into their dreams and live their passion. I love the story of Bob Taylor. If you know anything about Taylor guitars, and he was extremely passionate about making guitars. And in junior high and high school, he was a shop class wizard. He won the California State Industrial Arts Exposition 2 years in a row with shop projects. But when he was in 11th grade, he switched over to wood shop and set his sights on a 12-string guitar. It took him most of the year, but he built one. And then next year, he built 2 more guitars in his spare time. And he knew that's what he wanted to do with his life. And he became so passionate about it, and he struggled. He went at all kinds of obstacles and challenges. You can read his story. I don't have time to share his whole story. But he then went on to form Taylor Guitars, and it's one of the most successful guitar companies in the world. He loved making guitars. He was passionate about making guitars. He had to work within his strength zone, but he also knew he had to get out of his comfort zone, because everything you've ever desired exists outside of your comfort zone. Everything. Now, the reality is, the reason we don't follow our passion is because you'll have to follow your passion a long time before you receive any external reward for it. Look, I've been so passionate about doing what I'm doing now, and I don't even believe I've scratched the surface on what I'm capable of doing or where I'm supposed to be in my own life. But I'll never forget people going, man, you're like an overnight success, and this has happened, this has happened, this has happened. I'm going, where have you been for the last 19 years? Where were you when I couldn't afford to buy groceries? Where were you when I had to make difficult decisions? Do I pay a light bill this month, or do I do this? Because I was so passionate about what I was doing, but yet the results weren't there yet. They didn't show up there yet. You've got passion drives you. It helps you to overcome the adversity. It helps to give you initiative to get out of your comfort zone. You've got to discover how to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and it increases your odds for success. So I'm right now working very hard to, I'll just share this as a story, to lose some weight, to get into shape. I have some big health goals. I'm doing this program called Athlean X, and it's pretty intense, and I joined the gym, and I hate working out in front of other people. It makes me so uncomfortable, especially when you're in a gym with a lot of people who are in shape, and they just, I don't even know, their bodies don't look real. And I'm doing this exercise, and it's a series. It's 8 exercises using an agility ladder that you lay out on the ground. And so the agility ladder is laid out on the ground, and there's a group of people there standing around it. And I walk up to them and I say, hey, are you guys using this ladder? They said no. And now I've got to do it, but I've got this group of people around, and they're probably going, look at this guy. In my mind, that's what I'm saying to myself. These people are about to laugh at me. I can't believe I'm doing this. And I actually said, this is dumb. I'm going home. I'm not going to do this here. I'll figure out, I'll just stop at Academy and I'll buy one of these ladders, and I'll do this workout at home. And as I look down at my phone, because my phone has my workout, and it's got little video instructions from the health coach, and as I look down at my phone, I read something that I have shared numerous times with agents. And here's what the quote from the coach says. It says, anytime you start something new, it makes you feel uncomfortable. And when you're uncomfortable, you want to quit. But if you want results to show up in your life, you have to become comfortable being uncomfortable. And I read that and went, wow, I can't leave. I'm so uncomfortable. I've got to do this. So I did that routine with the agility ladder right there in front of them. I tripped, fell down, got back up, did it. And you know what I noticed? They didn't even care. They weren't even looking at me. I was uncomfortable. It was my own thoughts, my own mind. So you've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That will increase your odds for success. Now, I want to share a poem that I read and about passion and what passion will help you do. And it says, passion helps you believe while others are doubting. You have to be able, the first step, you've got to be able to get over people doubting you because they're all over the place. I've heard people, I had someone tell me today, a vendor who's not even a realtor said, I had this XYZ company say y'all weren't a real company. I'm going, what are we? Are we a fake company? What are we? Well, it just validates that we're doing something right. So you got to believe while others are doubting. While other people are doubting you, you have to stay strong and believe. And sometimes it's really hard because the people that doubt you the most are those who you really care about, who you feel like they should be supporting you the most. Then you have to plan while others are playing. I played basketball in high school. I played basketball in college. I got a full athletic scholarship to play basketball in college. I was not the most talented kid, though. But I would outwork anybody. And I'd wake up every morning and I'd shoot 1,000 shots, jump shots, and I'd mark where I made them, where I missed them. I'd shoot another 1,000 free throws. I'd jump rope. I'd work out. I'd do all that before my regular practice. In the summer, I worked out like crazy. So while all my friends were at the beach or taking trips, I was working on my basketball game. So you got to plan while others are playing. Sometimes you got to burn the midnight oil. Sometimes you got to burn the candle at both ends, and you just have to go after it and do what others aren't willing to do now so that you can do what others can't do tomorrow. And then study while others are sleeping. Always be learning based, continual improvement, continual learning. Decide while others are delaying. Prepare while others are daydreaming. Begin while others are procrastinating. Work while others are wishing. Listen while others are talking. Commend while others are criticizing. You got to make a decision. You're going to take the high road. And while others criticize you, you're going to commend others. You're going to encourage others. You're going to pour belief into others. You're going to inspire others. You're going to encourage them. You're going to lift them up. You're going to edify them. Let others criticize and lead small lives. Don't you criticize and lead a small life. And then persist while others are quitting. Most people would win if they just didn't quit, if they just didn't give up. We've become such I don't even know the right word. We've become such babies. We quit at the slightest obstacle, the slightest challenge, the least little bit of doubt, and we're done. Because we want it to be so easy. We want the easy button. And sometimes, most of the time, success requires sacrifice. And it's not always easy. And you have to persist. And you'd win just right there by not giving up. So you go, well, Jonathan, how do I ignite my passion for my dream? How do I stoke the fire? Well, the first step is to take into account your natural temperament. Everyone's not the same. I'd encourage you to take a DISC assessment if you haven't already done so. And if you haven't taken a DISC assessment, you can click the same link that's there on the screen, and it will take you to my website. And there's a link there that you can actually take a DISC assessment. Or you can send me a message and I can help you do that. You got to know your personality style so that you can know how you operate, think, and the best way to help you to stoke the fire when it comes to getting passionate about your business. The second thing is keep your eye on what's important to you. Keep your eye on what's important to you. One of the best books I've ever read on leadership, and John Maxwell always recommends it as well, is called The Leadership Challenge. And in it, he talks about how the Army develops leaders. It's a major general who talks about it. He says, when anyone asks me this question, how I develop leaders, I tell them that I have the secret to success in life. The secret to success is to stay in love. Staying in love gives you the fire to ignite other people, to see inside other people, to have a greater desire to get things done than other people. A person who's not in love doesn't really feel that kind of excitement that helps them get ahead and to lead others to achieve. I don't know any other fire and any other thing in life that's more exhilarating and more positive of a feeling than love is. So you got to realize, to keep the passion, you got to have love for people in the forefront. And many people don't do that. They lose sight of what really matters to them. And as a result, the fire goes out. So fall in love with people again. I'm writing a book right now called Loving to Lead, how the best leaders believe in, value, and unconditionally love people. I think one of the biggest traits of a great leader is that he makes other or she makes other people feel like they can be great. The third way to reignite the passion is to overcome the fear of being different from others. Newsflash, you are different. Each one of us are created uniquely in the eyes of a creator. We're all different. Each one of us are different. People who achieve their dreams stand out. You cannot be a part of the crowd and achieve your dream at the same time. If you want to live an extraordinary life and do extraordinary things, you need to follow your passion and stop worrying about what other people think of you. So those are 3 quick ways to kind of stoke the fire and ignite the passion in your business, and you're moving towards your dream. I'd love to hear any thoughts, ahas that you have. Please share them in the question box. Chuck Hill, love it. Work within your strength zone. Get out of your comfort zone. Most people would win if they just wouldn't give up. You're right. That is awesome stuff. Next week, we're going to be talking about pathway. And the pathway question says, do I have a strategy to reach my dream? Is there a strategy to reach my dream? Again, on the screen, if you look on the screen there, you'll see a link that will take you to the replays of all of the previous masterminds. So if you haven't already seen the calls, or if you would like to go back through, then you can. And you can use the, I'm sorry, I'm trying to multitask. You can use the link on the left of your page that says free gift. And there is the workbook that you can download. So if you'd like to download the workbook, then you can do that and go back through and fill out all the information. I'm also going to post a link real quick for you if you'd like to take a DISC assessment. You can order a DISC assessment. Give me 1 second, I'm popping it on screen. But it should now show up there on the screen the link to get the DISC assessment. I'll leave that up for a second, and I'll see if we have any other questions coming in, thoughts, ahas that you guys have from today's call. And I don't see any coming in. Thank y'all for joining us on the webinar today. I'll have this replay back up on the screen shortly later on today. Have an awesome day. Thanks for joining us.